All right, let's start with a big story that we are tracking at this hour, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived at the Stockholm Arlanda airport late last night to attend the India-Nordic Summit. All right, now for more on this and as to what is to be expected at the India-Nordic Summit, we are joined in by our correspondent Siddhant Sibal, who is presently in Sweden. Siddhant, good morning to you. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning in Stockholm, but it is going to be a busy day ahead. So what can we expect on the agenda at the India-Nordic Summit today?
Well, it's going to be a really important day. Today is a packed schedule for the Indian Prime Minister here. He is, of course, going to start his day by meeting the King of Sweden, and he's going to have a bilateral with the Prime Minister of Sweden, who received him at the airport, breaking the protocol for the first time for any foreign leader. But the big focus will be on the India-Nordic Summit that will happen at 9 p.m. India Standard Time, and he is going to address the Indian community at 11 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Of course, this is a permanent fixture of his itinerary. Wherever he goes in foreign country, he meets the Indian community there, the Indian diaspora. But let me talk about something that has made headlines here. This is the Dagens industry. That's the economics time to give you a feel on the scale of this newspaper. And this has headlined an exclusive interview with the Indian Prime Minister, in which the Indian Prime Minister has talked about reforms and how Indian reforms can bring a good opportunity for the Swedish businesses to come in India and invest. And of course, there is a full-page interview in the newspaper, in which it's written Indian Prime Minister's charm offensive, clearly focusing on that exclusive interview which this newspaper has got, in which the image you saw was from the 2016 Make in India Week in Mumbai, in which the Swedish Prime Minister participated. The political engagements between India and Sweden has grown at a multi-level. If you look at Sweden, it's the kind of a leader in the Nordic countries, and that of course helps India also. But trade remains at a modest level. That has to be increased. There are 170 companies, Swedish companies in India, and companies such as Volvo, IKEA. These are common household names. But of course, there's something else in defense that's happening. Saab is in talks for the Griffin fighter jet being made in India plan, basically defense. That's something that is something that will be looked into when the bilateral happens. But the Prime Minister is also going to have bilateral meets with other Nordic countries. These are 5 countries: Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway and Finland, and these form the separate region because they are culturally similar, they are historically similar. If they were a single unit, and they were a single unit way back in 1300s under Kalmar Union, they will be the 7th largest country geographically and 12th largest economically, way above Australia, South Korea, South Africa and even Mexico.
Absolutely indeed. So that is an important bit of stuff that will be looked at by the Indian Prime Minister. And also considering that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the first Indian Prime Minister in the last 30 years, because the last time an Indian Prime Minister was there was Rajiv Gandhi in the year 1988. And we also expect bilaterals to take place. It's not just the India-Nordic Summit, but also the bilaterals on the sidelines of the summit. So anything up for agenda in the bilateral, Siddhant?
Well, a lot of things are expected to happen on the bilateral front. The first bilateral, of course, with the Swedish Prime Minister. And I've also already told you how the political engagements have been increasing. Last year itself, the Indian Prime Minister and the Swedish Prime Minister had held telephonic conversation 4 times. And of course, Sweden has been backing India at the UNSC for a reformed UNSC, MTCR, NSG. And focus, of course, will be on how Sweden can help India. Let me just give you a view about the Nordic countries. These are countries who are world leader when it comes to innovation, when it comes to technology, when it comes to smart solutions, something that can help India, especially building smart cities, Clean Ganga, Swachh Bharat. These are programs where these countries can help. These are countries who work on renewables, which is less harsh on the climate, something India would like to emulate, because India is a large economy, it's growing at a fast rate, it needs energy, and for that it needs clean energy, something that's not harsh on the planet. That is why the Nordic countries can help. And let me tell you, this is for the first time India is engaging to any European country through a separate format, not through the European Union, but through the India-Nordic Summit. And this is for the second time in history that Nordic countries are hosting a summit with a particular country. That's India this time around. The first time it happened it happened in the tenure of the US President Barack Obama. So clearly a lot of things at stake, and something India wants to present is a pan-Nordic idea, because India wants to engage with the entire region, and this is thinking out of the box for Indian foreign policy, aligning its foreign policy for its domestic needs.